As everyone who has been following the controversy in the Atlanta hip-hop industry knows, Kirk Frost's name doesn't seem to be connected. This is crazy, I promise. You won't believe what Yung Joc just told you about Kirk Frost. Fans have been speculating about Kirk's dubious background for years, but none anticipated that this young athlete, who is known for being honest, would suddenly reveal that he had witnessed Kirk doing something startling with Kendra's photos. Did it have a terrible truth about it? Or was it innocent? We're going to reveal something that will leave you stunned, so stay tuned. Kirk has consistently garnered media attention due to his past personal troubles and his contentious business choices. But this time it became much more messy. Recently, reality TV personality and rapper Yung Joc made a statement that has everyone talking. I caught Kirk Frost doing something unexpected involving Joc's own wife, Kendra Robinson, he claims. If you're familiar with these two, you're aware that Kirk and Joc have been friends for a while. But what happens when friendship and personal boundaries begin to merge? Today's video will explain exactly what Yung Joc stated, the background to this startling admission, and why this could potentially damage Kirk Frost's reputation once more. Additionally, we will examine Kendra's response, the implications for her relationship with Joe's, and if Kirk has permanently crossed the line this time. Is Kirk truly looking at Kendra's images? If so, what caused the misconception? Or is there a more complex issue at work? Because of Joc's revelation, supporters are doubting everything. Hold on tight, because you won't want to miss this story. By the time we're done, you'll see Kirk Frost quite differently. I guarantee it. Let's begin with the beginning of it all. As they navigate the highs and lows of celebrity, business, and interpersonal relationships, Yung Joc and Kirk Frost have been part of Atlanta's hip-hop and reality TV scenes for years. Fans have long regarded them as close friends, nearly like brothers, but in light of recent developments, many are questioning whether Kirk has been moving out. Joc believes that he first became aware of something strange on his wife Kendra's social media accounts. Even though famous lawyer and reality TV star Kendra Robinson has always kept her personal life private and professional, Joc had some reservations about Kirk's internet interactions with her. Initially, it appeared innocuous, just a few likes here and there, because likes on someone's photos aren't always illegal in the modern world. I noticed that Kirk was frequently interacting with earlier images of Kendra rather than merely liking posts from random people. The images in question were not recently uploaded. Rather, they were taken months or even years ago and had not been accessible for some time. At first, Joc thought Kirk had just gone too far and accidentally liked an old post. But as the days went by, the pattern continued, not just one or two photographs, but multiple, all in a short amount of time, and Joc recognized it wasn't random. A married man, especially one who is meant to be a friend, doesn't walk around taking pictures, and Joe was unable to ignore the warning flags at this point. What's worse is that Kirk had also been preserving some of Kendra's photos. Unless they are bookmarking anything significant, or in certain situations, something private, most individuals do not save anyone's Instagram photos for those who are unfamiliar with social media behavior. Maybe there's more to the story of another man's wife. But what Joc discovered next went from suspicious to downright unnerving. Yung Joc initially attempted to give Kirk the benefit of the doubt, believing that perhaps it was nothing and that Kirk had been aimlessly browsing social media late at night and inadvertently interacting with pictures without even considering it. However, he had a gut feeling that something wasn't quite right. Something felt strange, and when a man has that kind of intuition about his wife, he knows better than to. Let's break it down for those who aren't familiar with social media. Instantaneously and regularly seeing someone else's Instagram stories isn't something casual. It indicates that either Kirk had Kendra's alerts enabled or Kirk was viewing her posts nearly soon after she uploaded them. Or perhaps he spent the entire day feigning to examine her profile. What was the reason behind Kirk's strong interest in Kendra's posts? In his mind, Joc started to imagine Kirk as a helpful but nonsensical friend. Kirk wasn't exactly close friends with Kendra, and he wasn't using Joc's posts in this way. Was it his intention to monitor her? If so, why did Joc discover that Kirk had been leaving comments on some blogs, but only on ones that featured Kendra by herself, which caused the situation to take an even odder turn? The pictures of her and Yung Joc THIS together, but when she was alone, Kirk would send her quick praise, fire emojis, and sometimes even mysterious notes that sounded a bit too familiar. Now that he knew something more serious was going on, Joc chose to escalate the situation since he needed more proof before approaching Kirk. He asked Kendra whether she had seen anything odd, like notes from Kirk or something that didn't look right. Her initial reaction was to reject it, saying Kirk was merely being kind, but as Yung Joc THIS revealed the pattern of almost instant story views, saved posts, and likes changed Kendra's visage. Although it was clear that she had not previously seen it, even she was forced to admit that it appeared odd once the Joc brought it to her attention. The Joc's decision to check Kendra's DNS, however, was how everything changed, and it was the true shock. Kirk's obsessive story watching, consistent patterns in his interactions with Kendra's images, and the fact that he only interacted with her solo photos all pointed to something more serious. But Joc's worries weren't simply idle musings. He needed some unquestionable proof that he could show Kirk and ask him to explain, because he wasn't the type to make accusations without hard proof. Thus, after inhaling deeply, he posed a query that made Kendra hesitate. "Have you ever heard from Kirk via message?" Kendra initially appeared confused, tossing her head and furrowing her face. "Let me verify, but I can't recall." When Joc unlocked her phone, navigated to her Instagram DMs, and started scrolling, things changed. She sat silently through the entire process. As she continued to browse, more of her apathy gave way to perplexity, then worry, and last, complete incredulity. "Hold on, wait, what is this?" At a particular message thread, she halted and mumbled. Joc leaned closer, and there it was. Kirk had been DMing Kendra, but it wasn't just light conversation. There was a tone, a pattern, and a degree of familiarity in these messages that infuriated Joc. To start, Kirk would sometimes reply to Kendra's tales on Instagram with simple emojis like eyes, fire, heart, eyes, or "that dress is crazy." After then, though, the messages became more audacious. As if he and Kendra had a private agreement, Kirk cracked a few inside jokes that seemed personal. Additionally, she received late-night messages and subtle remarks about her smile, clothes, and attractiveness. It is inappropriate to talk to a married lady late at night, especially if she is a friend's wife, as everyone familiar with social media etiquette knows. Kirk sent a message at 1:27 a.m., one of several times he had done this. The message was straightforward: "Can't sleep you up," followed by the question, "Do you ever think about the what-ifs in life?" Funny how things work out, isn't it? Joc froze in his tracks after hearing that. Kirk wanted to say what? Was he saying that he felt something for Kendra and that he was sorry? After Kendra shared a photo from a date night with Joe, Kirk wrote a comment that read, "If he ever messes up, know I've got you." Joc clenched his jaw as he scrolled through the messages until he found the worst one. That's when Joc understood it wasn't a casual engagement. Prior to now, I had never even seen these and had never responded to them. It didn't matter that, despite her insistence on handing him her phone, she hadn't responded. Whether Kendra realized it or not, Kirk was already making his move. Joc remained sitting with his hands on his knees, gazing at the messages. His composure had held until now, but presently was different, and he had to choose between ignoring it and facing Kirk head-on. Expose him to the world, but something even stranger happened before he could decide. Sitting there, Joc gripped his phone until his knuckles were white. He wasn't insecure, but the fact that the words came from a person he considered a brother made them feel heavier than he had expected. Kendra had shared meals with Kirk, who was also a friend and collaborator. He was now lurking like a random stranger in Kendra's direct chats. Despite not playing into it or engaging with it, Kendra's face was contorted in disbelief as she continued to stare at the texts. That wasn't the issue. Kirk was being so blatantly disrespectful by being so loud and insistent that he was assuming Joc wouldn't find out. Joc briefly attempted to gather himself, but it was unclear if he was exaggerating or if Kirk was just acting carelessly and not sincerely attempting to press up on his wife. A message that had been unsent was at the bottom of the direct message thread, and Joc saw something that made him throw up. After sending a message, Instagram will notify the recipient that something was not sent, but the message will disappear from the discussion. Kirk and Kendra both gazed at the little gray lettering before realizing why he would delete a message unless he was aware that he had gone too far. That proved it was personal now, and Joc didn't need any more interrogation or tolerance. Joc intended to either confront Kirk in secret or reveal him in public. If Joc had seen those letters in his wild youth, he would have snatched Kirk away, but he was now an adult, now a husband and parent. He was aware that a hasty decision could worsen the situation. So, like any man of strategy, he thought hard about what he would do next. Kendra was urged to remain silent and let me take care of this. Joc then started to watch Kirk's actions to see if he would react negatively, distance himself, or pretend nothing had happened. Kirk started off as planned, removing the likes, decreasing the number of story views, and ceasing to engage with Kendra's post as though he had known that he had been discovered, informing Jade that Kirk wasn't just irresponsible, he was guilty. It was just a matter of setting up the trap and capturing Kirk in the act. Knowing that Kirk would deny everything if Joc approached him right away, he would respond, "Man, I was just joking. You're overthinking it." He might even attempt to reverse the situation and make the Joc appear insane for anticipating the worst. So the Joc decided to let Kirk show himself. After a moment of waiting, he had to test if Kirk would fall for it. Kendra shared a test story, a simple mirror selfie that was not particularly provocative. Do you know what? He became Kendra's lucky Joc again in a matter of minutes, and the Joc suddenly had his smoking pistol. No more excuses or explanations were available. The Joc was about to make his move, and Kirk had just gotten into his own jam. To avoid handling the situation over the phone, the Joc called Kirk and set up a meeting, pretending that it was a battle between brothers. It was all routine. He was instructed to come to the studio, chop it up, discuss music, and maintain a relaxed atmosphere. Yet the Joc met Kirk's eyes as soon as he walked in the door and said, "We need to talk right now." Immediately, Kirk's expression changed. He realized he already knew what was happening and wasted no time in pulling out his phone, opening the DNS, and swiping it over the table to explain. As he swallowed hard, and silently, Kirk glanced down at his Adam's apple bobbing. After a lengthy silence, he giggled uncomfortably. With a calm yet forceful tone, Joe leaned forward and said, "That's nothing, dude. Late at night, you have been DMing my wife and erasing all of her posts after viewing them. No, Kirk, that's just you beaming in my face and attempting to push up on my wife." Kirk's head was shaken. "Dude, it's not even like that. I wasn't joking. I merely looked at him." "How come you removed the message then?" "Blow." Kirk opened his mouth but said nothing. Then, Joc realized Kirk had run out of things to say. He now had to choose between publicly reprimanding Kirk on social media. He had the opportunity to immediately sever their friendship because of what he did. "You must take responsibility for this," Joc remarked after taking a long breath. "Since your actions exposed you, I don't need to do it again. But know that you are not family." Kirk made an unsuccessful attempt to retract his actions and apologize, but it was too late. He was excluded from all future friendships, hangouts, and studio sessions. Because wasn't your fault, Jockey made sure Kendra understood that she wasn't at fault. "I trust you because of this," but Kirk lost all respect that day in addition to his pal. Asking Joc about Kirk still results in him saying, "Dude, I don't even know him anymore." Kirk crossed every boundary in this issue, which was about loyalty and respect. This story demonstrates that some people in your circle are merely waiting for the opportunity to replace you. Others are genuinely for you. Joc, however, clearly wasn't going to let it happen, and Kirk will never be able to get over it.